met a young lady who was an assistant at a record label. She introduced me around. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in Heavy D's office, sitting here like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting here with Heavy D. And he's like, listen, I need an executive assistant. I'll give you a week. And if you last a week, you can have the job.
Hey, it's your girl Nancy Red, and this is season 4 of Mompreneurs, where we celebrate beautiful Black entrepreneurs who are also amazing moms. Now, every week, I'm chatting with my guests about how they are killing it simultaneously as a business mogul and as a mom. We're listening to their inspiring journeys and incredible advice. Now, today we are honored to be joined by a true force in the entertainment and media world. Joi Brown is the CEO of Culture Creators. She's also the former SVP of Marketing at Atlantic Records and also the former head of strategic partnerships at ICM. Now, through mentorship, programming, and community partnerships, Joi is changing the face of leadership, and she's celebrating Black and Brown professionals, making sure the pipeline of talent is both deep and diverse. Now, she's doing this all while wifing and momming it up to twin girls. Joi, I don't know how you have time to even talk to me today, but I am so glad. Welcome.
Thank you, Nancy. This is so exciting to be here. I love being a mom, and I'm so excited to support and talk about all the things around being an entrepreneur and a mother and a wife and all the things.
All the things, because you are juggling a lot and you always have been, and you do it so well. But before we get too far into the business side of things, let's get a little bit personal. Who in your life puts the mom in mompreneur? Who's in your household?
So I have one of the twins here. Kennedy is here. She goes to school in New Jersey, so she commutes. And my other daughter, I've been trying to bribe her to come back home too, but she is living her best life as a young independent woman in Brooklyn. And she goes to college in the city.
Oh, I love that. So your nest is halfway flown.
Yeah. And honestly, I've been trying to lure the other one in, so I think I'm almost there. She's hinting like, maybe I will come home. It's been so nice being able to be on this side of motherhood in this journey with them. And I just adore the relationship that we have, how it's blossomed into this new relationship.
Now, you started this business when they were how old? How old were they when you started Culture Creators?
They must have been...
It was 2016, so that's 8 years ago. So they would have been in middle school?
Yeah, and really... I didn't know what I was starting. I just knew that I wanted people to get together, and I knew that there were no conferences. And so I said, what if we bring people together who I know create culture? And that's how Culture Creators, just the name even came about. And so, them watching me, create flyers and come up with strategy and, seeing me do t-shirts by hand and all the things. They have been on this journey with me, lock and step.
That's so sweet. And it's so interesting because so many people, especially moms, start businesses because this is a very purposeful concept to create cash flow, to give them some way they can go to their kids' school dinners or, all of their different activities. You were working a full-time job. This was just something that you felt a calling to create at the time. You were killing it in the industry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I will say, and to be honest, this wasn't my first stab at creating something like this. I actually had created, I thought it was going to take off, but it was called the Stakeholders. And it's so interesting because now that I say this out loud, it's a similar concept of Culture Creators. The idea was that it was geared towards women, but the idea was that as women, we should be stakeholders in each other's success. And so I was bringing women together across different industries to meet one another and talk about just meet each other and talk about what are your needs and to lean in on that. and create a safe space for that.
That's amazing. So this is also a great example because so many times, myself included, you don't really see the failures, right? You don't see the things that did get launched. You just see the successes, but you've always wanted to be in business. You've always wanted to create your own entity, even though you had an incredible professional career. Were you always business oriented? Did you have a business as a kid?
You
Were
know,
you the
so
girl with the
funny.
candy sales?
So fun fact is that I did not think that I was into business at all. I did not think that I wanted to be an entrepreneur until my sister reminded me. She goes, "Do you remember in college you used to sew pillows and sell them for Valentine's Day?" And then my best friend reminded me that I used to cook soul food dinners and sell them out of my dorm room. So I guess I kind of always had this little entrepreneurial bug. But when I got into the music industry, I don't think that I necessarily had an entrepreneur bug then, because I really loved my job, and I loved working with the talent that I work with. But I just kind of always have been into the service of others and doing what I can to make a difference. And so it naturally kind of migrated into this thing where it's become now. But it was built off of a passion, just a hobby of bringing people together, because I just knew that once I got people in the room together, that building community wouldn't be so difficult. And I did not know that having a party at Gilded Lily with these people in the music industry would turn into, here now we're about to celebrate 10 years, and celebrate 9 years doing our awards brunch. It would turn into this platform. I had no inkling. I just knew I was just passionate about people, and I was passionate about making sure that we knew that we are stakeholders in each other's success and that we need one another.
I love that. And exactly, you didn't know what you were creating. And you especially did not know that it would become your full-time entrepreneurial profession, which is
Yeah.
wild, right? Like
Yeah.
how did this transition happen? How did you go from culture creators as the thing you do to give back to the community? I want to talk all about all the things you do, from the brunch to the hundreds of thousands of dollars of scholarships. And
Mhm.
now it is actually part of your world as what you do full time.
You have an instinct, right? You have an urge that I knew that I was on to something. I remember when I did my first event in New York, all my folks in LA was like, "Oh my goodness, we couldn't fly in. You got to do it in LA." And I was like, "Oh, I do have to do it in LA." So then I did an event during Grammys, and then it was never geared towards artists. It's really about people who really are behind the scenes driving culture. And I look up and like Chris Rock is in there, Diplo's in there, Skrillex, and it wasn't even like just Black people. It was people who were just celebrating what culture. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but okay. Still had no clue. Still working full time at Atlantic Records, still doing things, still passionate about my job. But then I just started listening to people. And one of the things that I realized, and I am also a victim of the industry, because you spend so much time sacrificing for others' dreams. So there are times like, I couldn't make it to a parent-teacher conference, or my kids needed me for something, or my husband needed me something, or I wanted to be home, but I couldn't, and I had to work on weekends. And no one sees the sacrifice that goes into building other people's dreams. And then they get on award shows, and not that you have to be thanked, but they get on these big stages and your name is not called to thank. But maybe you pick the choreographer that they just won this, they did this huge performance with, all the things that you sacrifice and research and put behind them to fuel their dreams. You turn around and you're like, okay, well, I kind of feel like no one even knows that I exist. And then a large part of who I am is that I work with young people, always mentored. And when I talked to them, they had no idea that there could be a job in the music industry like mine. And I was like, there's a disconnect here. And so that birthed the idea of creating not only an awards platform, but like a college program of going in and talking to and educating students about different careers in entertainment.
How much scholarship money have you and Culture Creators awarded to HBCU students since all of this?
I would say probably now we're near in the $400,000 range. And when we started doing it, to be fully transparent, I wasn't a nonprofit because I didn't want to be a nonprofit. I didn't want
No,
to.
but and anybody listening, she's not even joking. No, it is not fun to be a nonprofit. It's
No,
so
no,
much work.
it's a lot.
You have to chart every toothpick.
Right. So I didn't want to be a nonprofit because one of and two, I was like, you know what? I could just be a flow through and help other people. And so a lot of that money was gone. I awarded through the ideation of creating these platforms through other entities. And it's only in the last 2 years that I've become a nonprofit, but that's been out of necessity to stay alive because, a lot of the programming stuff that we were doing has either been ingested into programming within their corporate entity, or they stopped it altogether. And we're still doing the work because we were doing the work before they did it, and we're going to be doing the work long after people are gone. So I had to become a nonprofit so that I could still do the work that I'm passionate about doing.
I think it's really great that you saw the invisibility of the work that you were doing, not just as someone who's doing all the work, who's making all these sacrifices. Like you said, you're a victim to your career in many ways without any of the rewards. But also, even with that, it's a great career option that a lot of people aren't aware of. How did you fall into it? Because for people who don't know, you had a very storied professional career. I mean, you were making many household names.
I would tell you the truth. I didn't go to school for it. I went to school for broadcast journalism. I thought I would want to be in media and on the news side because I just love news. And I wanted to graduate. And when I got into having an internship, and my first internship was at CNN back in the day, and I didn't even last long because I hated it. But I've always been drawn to music. I went to a magnet program for high school, so I danced, I studied dance. I took workshops and master classes in the city. And then when I got to college, my parents were like, listen, dancers' lives are not that long. You need to get a degree that you can fall back on. And my dad was the one who was like, I think you should go into business. I think you would be great in business. And I was like, I don't know. No. And so I thought I wanted to get into politics. And then I went to Howard University. So being in DC and being around all the the government and politics, it's a natural migration, want to go in that direction. But I just had started to really yearn to be creative. And that's one thing about dance. Dance allows you to express yourself through your body and move, and you can feel the music and you can flow it, and I can see, and you feel the colors of it. And I had a longing for that. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take a stab at it. I started throwing parties, and I used to call record labels randomly and say, hey, do you have someone that's coming through Washington, D.C. promoting a record? I have this party that I do, and it actually got pretty popular. And people started to recognize. I started working with a couple artists, and I was like, oh, this could be a thing. And so I quit my job. I was working for a government contract. I was working on a government contract. I quit my job, and I saved, and I moved to New York. Didn't have a job. But I told myself that I'd work at McDonald's. I didn't care what the job was. I just knew that I had to go to New York, and I knew that I had to get in the music industry. So I just basically went, networked, met a young lady who was an assistant at a record label. She introduced me around. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in Heavy D's office, sitting here like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting here with Heavy D. And he's like, listen, I need an executive assistant. I'll give you a week. And if you last a week, you can have the job. So I worked for a week for him for free to see, to prove that I could handle the job. And of course I did. And then the rest was just history after that.
I love it. So it's funny because you are no stranger to hustle. And so all of the pivots that you've had to do over the years, whether it was quitting your job, moving to New York City, working for free, starting the stakeholders, that not working out, starting Culture Creators as a curiosity, and then pivoting to now it's a bona fide nonprofit that's given thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships and connected who knows how many people. You're here now. Talk to us about what Culture Creators is now today as a 501c3. What do you do? How can people participate and glean from your efforts?
We're actually a three-pronged business. So we have an agency where the agency is like I would say we work with corporations who want to, let's say they want to build something around community. Like right now I'm consulting for the BET Awards. They're building around their industry talk. So I'm curating conversations that are free for the public around how to get into the music industry. If you're an independent artist, what is the things you should know, what the platforms you should be using, how to invest your money, if you want to launch your film and TV career, how to get funding, how to get distributed. So all of those things come under my agency, and I work for companies hiring me to build that out. And we also do our own sports and entertainment summits under that umbrella. So all our branded stuff pretty much sits there. Our nonprofit foundation, all that sits is our education and our scholarship. So all of our college summits that we do, we have a program called this Campus Changemakers, where we mentor 35 to 40 students across any college, not just HBCUs, any college. You just have to be a person of color or just a person who is interested in the sports entertainment field. And we select them based on if we think they're a culture creator, if they're going to be game changers on campus and after they leave campus, and we mentor them. That's a 2-year program. So our students, it launched 2 years ago. So our students are just now graduating out of that program. So we'll be taking in new students in the fall. And then we have an apparel line that we just launched. It's called Creators Collection. And that is a partnership that I have with famed streetwear designer Carl Kanai. The idea about that is our clothes tell our stories, part of our culture. And there are tons of legendary designers like Carl, who was one of the streetwear originators, to tell their story, and then also use that as an opportunity to bring up a young person who may not have gone to school for design, but has talent and skill and just need a foot in. And so we've created that as a pipeline to amplify stories of fashion creators, but also create a pipeline to bring in young people who have skill and talent and also want to be in design and fashion.
That's wonderful. And these three prongs, however, these have been evolved over time, refined, trying to figure out, because like you said,
still evolving. It's still refining.
And it's interesting because the industry has evolved so much. I mean, you can no longer just quit your job, move to New York City, find a rapper, and work for free for a week. It doesn't work that way anymore, unfortunately. So why is it even more important now that you have organizations like yours to create a new type of streamlined pipeline?
Because, one of the things I realize is that, a lot of your success depends on access. It's access to whether it's money, whether it's C-suite leaders or information. We all need access to something. And that's one of the things that we are really good at is connecting the dots for people. Being, I say, a conduit to whatever you need to pursue your dreams, whether it's technology, fashion, a tech startup, sports, whatever. It's about connecting, because again, like when I started Culture Creators, it's true to our DNA. It's about like putting people in a room and say, how can we collaborate? How can we break bread together? And how can we make money together? I think that's what is so important now, and even more critical is what does the economics look like for us to work together, especially in this climate that we're in now. How do we collaborate in a way that we both can survive and both can live? Because that's how you build community. And that's how you also too, we own a piece of our culture. And that's a lot of what we talk about, is that, we create these great things, but what does ownership look like? And sometimes you need someone else, and also you also need some people who don't look like us, right? So I'm very clear that we have allies, and sponsors in our movement to help us amplify, narrate, curate, and create things that impact our culture.
And your efforts are not going unnoticed. Recently, you've become I think, the Ad Color Music Award winner. You also were included in Essence Magazine's Power 40. And again, 2016, you were just starting this because you just wanted to make your work a little less invisible. And now here we are. How does this make you feel, this trajectory, this evolution to making waves that are being noticed with you at the helm as the CEO and founder?
I don't know, because this work isn't about me. I didn't start this because I wanted to amplify what I was doing. I just knew that there are so many talented people, and we need to know each other, and we need to work together. And that my young people who are coming to my office crying that they're not getting promoted, or they don't know how to get to this person and that person, I knew that someone had to reach back and show them a pathway. So this is never about me. And I'm very, very clear about that. The work that I do is not about me. It's much bigger than me. I think it's a testament that people believe in community, and people believe that we can work together, and that culture creators exist because people believe in it. I'm absolutely clear about that, because it's the calls, it's the can you help me, it's the do you know, it's the can you link me with, that keeps us and sustains us. So it's not about the work that I do. It's about the people who support me and support culture creators. I give voice to it because you need someone to drive the train, but what's a good train without the cars behind it to make it powerful? So I'm very, very clear that who I am and the success that we've had and the notoriety we've had is built off the back of the people who support me and my village who sustain me.
It's a lot to do with the invisibility of the work, right? Because like you said, there's a correlation between the work that you're trying to promote people. It is invisible. You don't see a lot of it. You don't understand the pathways. It's very much like motherhood, because I see a relationship, because both of your girls have now graduated high school. They're off in some world. Do you feel that once you got them partially out and about, was that when you were able to hunker down with your business a little bit more?
I think taking a chance now to be a full-time entrepreneur, I will say it's less stressful because I don't have little ones per se. Now I can take the energy of being home and nurturing and all the things it takes when you have younger children. I can put that energy into my business. But I would say that one of the things I've been fortunate about is I've been able to surround myself and build a little village that was always sustaining, because even in my daytime job at Atlantic took most of my time. There was no way that I could scale Atlantic Records and still maintain that job. One was going to give, because the pathway to entrepreneurship, it was pushing and pushing and pushing. And I knew eventually I'd have to jump off that diving board into this unknown water and try to figure out how to swim, which is what I'm doing now. But I will say that having the support has allowed me to do that. And my kids, the beauty of it now is that they're old enough now to see the fruit of the labor. So when my daughters are with me, they worked the awards brunch last year and they had no idea how hard it was. And they were like, Mom, you've been doing this all this year by yourself. Like, this is so hard. And they were just astonished. And so for me, I was so proud to have them by me. I mean, and they killed it. On top of that, I was like, okay, they're superstars. But secondly, they were able to see the work and they understood it. And it made sense for all those times when I was like, come home, I'm exhausted, or I'm on calls at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. It connected all the dots for them. So we had another mom and daughter bonding moment over, okay, Mom, you're really building something that's impactful.
I love that. Not only are you building something impactful, but do you think, what lessons have your kids learned from your entrepreneurial spirit? Do you see it in the way they approach life now? Sometimes people are just like, my kids are like, no business for me. Other times they're just jumping right in with their own businesses.
You know what's so funny is that I always try to push them to start something because they have really good ideas. I mean, really, really good ideas. They're like, Mom, not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. So I just kind of back off. But what surprised me is that they're very different as twins, they're night and day, right? So my daughter Kenny is super project oriented. Watching her put together a shoot, from doing weekly meetings, mood boards, all the things. I was so impressed. I was like, okay, she's been taking note. And then I have another daughter, Sydney, who is very creative. So she comes to me with like creative campaigns and music to listen to and things that I may not be up on, and really good creative ideas on how to launch different things. So they're very different, but so much a part of me that is so funny. I was like, okay, they have been paying attention over the years, or this is something kind of natural. I'm going to take ownership and say they got it from their mom, but like, I'm just so impressed that, you know, watching them be involved in culture creators in the ways that they are, that they really bring great value. Like I'm astonished. I'm astonished. Even though I would love to pass this down to them, and they kind of right now they're like, Mom, I don't know about that. But they really bring value to what I'm doing, and it's exciting to be in a phase with them, to work with my daughters.
You know, I'm sure, Joy, they are bringing you a lot of joy.
Swimming.
It's very exciting to see this and to see them be proud of you. How does that make you feel? Because you're building this for the community, right? And you're building this because you felt a calling. But also, it's great to see your daughters recognizing what mom has sacrificed and put together.
I will say, like, I'll share a moment with you. Like last summer, we were doing a sports and entertainment summit in Detroit, and the city council surprised me with the Spirit of Detroit Award, and my daughter presented it. Oh, Mom, I'm gonna cry. But she was like, you know, Mom, I had no idea the breadth of work that you do, that you know the people that you do, and that you do this type of work. And it when I tell you, I was like boo-hooing the fact that she even was bold enough to get on a mic and then turn around and present that to me. It just took my breath away. And then my other daughter was, you know, she was so overwhelmed with the brunch last year, and she can't speak like, Mom, I'm just so proud of you. And she gave me the biggest hug, and it was just amazing.
And speaking of the brunch, this year's is coming up very soon. What's in
Yes.
store, and what can people look forward to, not just this year, but every year at your legendary brunch?
So this year, I'm giving you a little sneak peek, but we are announcing. I don't think people realize that it's our 10th anniversary. So we're going to announce that it's our 10th anniversary, and we've done a little bit different. So normally we have, you know, honorees across every single category, but this year it's based on a theme, and it's based on the stories we tell. And I picked that because with you know, our artifacts being taken out of museums, books being put off shelves, people losing jobs, you know, media losing their voice, it's so important that the stories that we tell each other, you know, there's oral history that goes way back, predates us, about how we communicate to each other, our history, you know, our culture, how do we drive our story, help each other. And I kind of want to get back to that and tell people, like, it's really important, the stories, not only do we tell each other and amplify each other, but it's important the stories we tell, so that we can continue to be inspired, continue to reach for the stars, continue to dream regardless of what's happening in the world. So a lot of the people we're honoring are storytellers. So our icon of the year is Larry Wilmore, and he's responsible, you know, he has hands in Issa Rae's career, Quinta Brunson, you name it. He's Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know, The Late Show. Like, so he's such a powerful person, and to be able to tell the impact of all the work he's done over the years is an incredible honor to have. We have Keke Palmer, who is our Innovator of the Year. Miss Keke, you know, she's all things, you know, from music to author to, you know, an actress. And she's really passionate about people too. And I want to be able to tell that side of her. We also have Candy Burris. Candy is I'm amazed by her. Like, she is one of the backers of the Denzel Washington play that's out, Othello, on Broadway. And she's a serial entrepreneur, but just so talented in terms of business and what it takes to, take our opportunity from being a singer and a songwriter, but a restaurateur and now a Broadway producer. So it's wonderful to shed light on her. We have Kimberly A. Blackwell, who is also a powerhouse in business, connecting the dots across finance and brand and culture. We also have actress Tasha Smith, who's, a director, producer in her own right, and has been so instrumental in the success of others as well. And our sister Joy Ann Reed. I don't think I have to tell you about her, but just want to amplify her and celebrate her because she's been on the front line, taking a lot of bullets to stand up for what's right. And so this is an opportunity as a community to come and lift her up and lift up her wings. And
that is a roster.
We have more coming. So yeah.
Okay, but here's getting all these people in one room. That just is a testament to how esteemed you are. Because people do not have time. In the year of our Lord, 2025, people are not just showing up to anything. And they are here. And that's been a through line with culture creators. People have always recognized what Joi does is something that is worthwhile and useful and constructive for the community.
Well, I'm thankful that they feel that way. I will tell you, the room feels like a family reunion. It's not, you don't walk in, it's not stuffy. It's purposeful. I try to set the tone as to why we're here. And we're here because we are a community. We are here to support each other. We are here to tell our stories. We're here to, reach across the aisle and say hi to your neighbor, and one of the things that I'm clear on is that that's why people return every year and why they walk away with a warm feeling and have a warm feeling around what we do.
Okay, our time is almost up, and I can't let you leave without participating in my favorite segment called Mompreneurs Manifestation, where every week I ask our guest, what are you trying to make happen? So what are you trying to make happen with culture creators, and how can we help bring it into the universe for you?
I'm trying to make culture creators one of the definitive voices of culture in media. How you can help me get there is by following us, supporting us, subscribing to our newsletter, sharing with your friends, share our page, share what's going on, show up to the events that we do. And we're always looking for new ideas. We're always looking to connect with fellow entrepreneurs or people in any space that are that feel like culture creators can help them or be a part of something that they're doing. We're always open to working and collaborating.
Okay, so if anyone wants to work or collaborate or benefit from you, where can they find you on Culture Creators, Joi?
Okay, we're on Instagram, and our Instagram is @TheCultureCreators. We're also on Facebook as Culture Creators, TikTok as Culture Creators, and if you want to shoot us a note, you can contact us at info@culturecreators.com, and obviously our website, culturecreators.com.
There's also culturecreatorsfoundation.com too, right?
Yes, there is. And we're also on LinkedIn as well. And Handshake.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Joi. I'm so impressed, and your kids are impressed too. We're all impressed. You are a great mompreneur role model for all of us.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for the work that you're doing of highlighting mompreneurs. I mean, that's incredible work in itself. Everyone needs an outlet to kind of talk about what they're doing. I think what you're doing is incredible. And congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's so much fun because all of us have an entrepreneur in us. And sometimes we think motherhood might get in the way, but in fact, it can just enhance not just the work that we want to do, but what our family is capable of, as we see from you. So yes. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks to all of you for watching and listening to Mompreneurs. As a reminder, a brand new episode goes live every Monday on Urban One Podcast Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit urban1podcast.com to learn more. That's urban1podcast.com.